There we go. YouTube missed out on all the fun stuff. All the fun stuff. Now it's just back to coding some terrible stuff. Me hacking my own bank account. That's exactly right. YouTube, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you missed that great intro. Having so much fun over here on Twitch. I forgot to hit the button. Forgot to hit the button. Thank you for sharing that with us. What's going on here? Hang on. There's something on the other screen. All right, we're all good. It's kosher. It's all good. There we go. Put some more zeros on after the decimal point, though, right? You can add as many zeros after the decimal point as you want. We got a fancy mug. That's right. I should use my. I have a lot of mugs. I should take a picture of my mug cabinet. Exactly, Drabble. Could have as many. The bank won't mind if you added zeros to the end of at the very end after the decimal point. Red Mur, welcome back, by the way. We're having a beautiful day. All right, so let's take a look at where we're at. Ascertainment, how are you? How are you doing, my friend? What are we working on? We are working on the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. So I kind of want to build an engine. Not an engine, a game tool kit for making these dungeon crawlers. Here's what I have so far. So nothing. If you were here yesterday, there's not a whole lot to see. Oh, the teleport's still turned on here. Because I didn't rebuild. So I have this. We have instant transmission movement. All right. So a lot of people who aren't familiar with the genre, it's so funny to me because it feels so normal to me to move instantly when I press the button. Other people go like, why are you teleporting? Why does it move so, why is it so laggy? Why are you teleporting? It's so interesting. I need to add a little thing here that says northeast, southwest. There's a bunch of stuff we want to do. That said, I implemented, I know you can't tell right now. So here is, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But let's look at my position here. 0, 0, 0. This is my Y position. This is my X. Oh, no, that's not correct. This is the X and Y. X and Z are actually my Y and X. Y FPS. Well, not even anything happening. It's true. Add Genie command to know Genie index and stream. I think top 10 chatters have 90% channel points. I don't understand the suggestion there. Maybe lerp the position. Well, I want to add a feature for that too. So maybe Tall. What's interesting is the people who run the jam prefer this type of movement. Honestly, I prefer this type of movement. But we'll add a lerp in there. We're gonna add 2 modes. That'd be a little thick. Here, let's add here. We can add that as an issue. If you lerp it, it will feel laggy. If you lerp it, they will come though, right, Dramux? If you lerp it, they will come. All right. Add smooth transition option with camera lerp. All right. Let's add that as an enhancement. I don't know why I made lerp all caps. That's linear interpolation. Okay. We add that in there though. All right, so watch this. So look down here. It's hard to tell, but I have a button that if I press, we're gonna add a derp. Right. Maybe Tall, yeah, that's what I love about it. And Captain Krabs, welcome back to the stream. I hope you've been wonderful, my friend. All right, so if I press this button, I get teleported to position 5, 6, facing east. I know it doesn't seem like much. But this is running using JavaScript. This is happening using JavaScript. That's the important part here. That's what is so cool about that, is happening via JavaScript. And I didn't want to do it in JavaScript. I wanted to do it in Lua, but I couldn't get the Lua interpreter to work the way I wanted to. Oh no, Codebook says JavaScript. I know, but I want to have scripting language support for my engine. So the idea is I can take my Unity game, I can build it, and then I just upload configuration files, and you can change the game any way you want with those configuration files. Juicy script. Juicy script, Dramox. That's what JS stands for, that juicy script. But the thing that's really cool here, all right, the thing that is really cool here, apparently I don't have this open yet. Let's open this one here. So you want to make an actual, Engine is a strong word. I want to make a dungeon crawling. I'm calling it a dungeoneering kit. A dungeoneering kit. So Unity is the renderer. So Unity is the main renderer. But the entire, the majority of the game, and I'm sure when the game jam comes around, it's going to be all hacks at the end of the day. But we got a little bit of time to get there. Bloody, thank you for the Learn C# command. Those are my suggested resources for you guys. So the cool thing here is that, check it out. Let me go, my test here. Sorry, Dramox, we got unit test. This code is running this. Again, this doesn't look like JavaScript, but it is. It is JavaScript. The C# Player's Guide is so good. Right here, we get a context. We create a JavaScript action, set player view 5-7 facing east. We invoke this, and then the player's position gets changed. So look, we only have a few Dramlooks. Look, there's hardly any unit tests. Let's run them. So you can see. We'll run our tests. We have. Here it goes. We don't see. Look, only 106 unit tests. Only 106. That's not even that many, and they're all passing. 106 passed unit tests. We done did it, folks. Ramos, that's 106 too many. Look, we got to keep our sanity somehow. Okay, so JavaScript event action should modify the player view. We're going to go ahead and we're going to continue adding stuff to this. What I really want to do is I have this tool outside of the Unity project. So this is like this windowed tooling kit, and I could have made this as a Unity extension, but I thought this would be fun. So I can use this to build out my maps. I can add it. Let's add a door. Oh yeah. Switch to door mode. Look at that door. Go back to solid. I need it. This tool could be much better, but you could build out, and I don't have a nice door renderer yet. Can build out these maps. Let's add a door down here. Boom, door. Add a door up here. We can add in, there's secret doors to secret walls. Can build this out this way. Look how easy this is. Look at how simple it is. I guess I'm making it use the mouse would be better. So you're not going with cubes. No, I'm doing thin walls, Distron. I like the thin walls. Not the thick walls. 100 have tested a true is nice. New dirty nerds, you're on to me. What I want to be able to do is in a tile, in a space, say there's an event here. There's an event. How about 45-degree walls against the rules of this jam? I don't actually know if it's against the rules of this jam, but I think it might be. The jam, you have to move on a grid that is square. Square grid, yeah. I think you could have walls that are that way, but I'm not sure how the movement works. Let's go look at the rules. 1 second. What? Let's go look at the rules real quick. All right, so if we come over here. Speaking of what, did you know Captain Coder's what emote? Cap, where's the what emote? Captain Coder's what emote? Hosted by the incredible Thindall. Speaking of thin walls, do you guys know Thindall? Incredible streamer, .NET developer, cat dad.
Very.
I would just be, you can't move through a 45-degree wall. It would be blocked off like a full square. Yeah, so in the rules, here is.
All right, let's.
Oops, that's the wrong one. Well, wait. All right, right here. This rule here. The game must feature 90-degree turns in the 4 cardinal directions: north, east, south, and west. Smooth transitions between 90-degree angles are allowed. Turning must be invoked by keyboard or gamepad control. Mouse look is permitted as a temporary way to look around, but it should snap to 90 degrees when not in use. Games that allow 90-degree turns up and down are also acceptable. Yeah, so you'd want to, the diagonals would probably need to be blocked off, something like that. So this prevents things like making it a hexagonal gritter. right? Because that could be a really interesting take, is to build out a hexagonal game where you move on a hexagonal grid rather than a square grid. But it's part of the rules. And so who am I to judge the rules? The rules are not made to be broken. They're made to be followed, or maybe bent or twisted, but not broken. Not broken. So what an interesting idea, Distron, an interesting idea. There's nothing about 45-degree walls. We could set it up to where like you transport to an alternate dimension. Can it be used alt, for instance, to look around, but movement still snaps? Yeah, exactly, Redmer. You could have it so that you could actually drag the camera around to look. Omni Digital, great to have you here, my friend. Great to see you. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Especially for looking up and down, that kind of thing. What do I want to do? I want to make it so I want to be able to create this event map. So the idea, right now I have a wall map. So all of these walls are JSONable. I want to make it so that way I can also add events that are scripted events that are connected to JavaScript, and then those JavaScript files get turned into an event map for us that we can use. So we're going to take a look at that. You don't need to transport to an alternate direction. I'm not saying you should be able to or move on a 45-degree angle. I just have walls that I could do that. It's not outside the realm of possibility. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Our pixel artists, I think we may end up not even using a 3D renderer, it turns out, which would be interesting, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. All right. You win, I'm in love with you. Well, all right. What I want to do is in my dungeon crawler, my dungeon event map, I want to implement this thing, dungeon event map. I need to figure out how exactly I want to have this thing represented, how I want those data to be created. We have these tile events. I want to make sure I can serialize and deserialize these tile events. Right now, they are all just JavaScript tile events. But what does that look like? What do the unit tests look like? What are the event actions here? So I have an event action that's abstract. You have to implement this thing. And I have one that is in a scripting version down here. So the JavaScript event looks like this. We'll end up making a prelude for this a little bit and be able to do some more interesting stuff like this. Distron says, I think it's a thing people need to do more of. There's one Wolfenstein game like game, as well as in the shape of a triangle, as well as squares, and allows for so much more interesting environments. Yeah, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility. It's not what I'll say is it's not a priority. Okay. Here is this is the JavaScript that gets generated. It's pretty gnarly. It's actually quite gnarly. I'm not a huge fan of it completely. But we end up generating a script that looks like this. We have a constant for our facing. This should be a part of a prelude thing. So I think this will be part of the full engine. Oh no, Distron, don't drop it. I love the idea. I'm not going to add it right now. I'm not saying I'm not going to add it. I'm not saying it's outside the realm. If you wanted to, I would love for you to add it. It's just not something that is a high priority for me right now. I would love. So folks, I've asked, I got permission. Anyone's allowed to contribute to this project. If you want to add issues, if you want to create a pull request, if you want to contribute to this project in any way, you're allowed to do so. And I'm not saying anything you make will get added in, but I will look at it and I will consider it. This one, if you want to add in an issue for adding 45 degree angle walls, make a proposal for it. I'd love to see it. Or how you doing on this beautiful Wednesday? I hope you're having a beautiful day. I love when people have ideas like that. I think it'd be really cool. Hang on. Where am I? All right, so this is our JavaScript engine here. This is sort of our prelude. The prelude is interesting in that, I actually this all could be part of the prelude. Okay, So I'm gonna make a constant here. Can't quite be a constant because of these things, but I can make it this way: private static read only string prelude. Let's take this. We'll put it up here, and we might even move this into a separate file. It's going to be our prelude, like that. I could probably manage a proposal, though. I have 40 days to finish the Steam page demo and know nothing about Java. That's okay. It's a good thing it's in C# then, Distron, right? Right? Am I right or am I right? Fast Chat, welcome back to the stream. How you doing, friends? I'm glad you're here. It's wonderful to see you on this beautiful Wednesday. There's a little bit of gnarliness here that we do where we have to take in this object as a JSON. We parse it we turn it into JSON, send it to the JavaScript engine, do some stuff with it. Then we send it back to the front end as JSON, de-JSON it. We turn it back into a string and then turn it into a C# object. This is because interpolation, I couldn't get the interop between C# and JavaScript to work. It's the same problem I was running in with Lua, is I couldn't get the interop between Lua and C# to work in the WebGL builds in Unity. It seems to be something with Mono. I know it's a problem with reflection. There seems to be a workaround with Lua there seems to be some workarounds for it, but I could not. I spent a few hours yesterday trying to get to work and I couldn't. Waking up about to start work. Well, I hope you get some good work in today, Fast Chat. DJ Son, Dramux, you know how it be. Okay. All right, let's... Calling mode controller. I don't think I need that. Yep, I took that out. Okay, what I want to work on here is my dungeon map. My dungeon, so I need to have my dungeon event map should tests. Okay, so let's create some new tests here. Dungeon event map should. And I'm going to start out by copying just the start of this. Dungeon. Oops. This was not what I wanted to copy the start of. Close others. Close to right. There we go. Let's open up the shoulds. Dungeon should. Dungeon event map should. Okay. What are the things that this thing should do? Let me know if the font's too small. I'm a little bit zoomed out from what I normally am. It's just hard to work with the bigger font. It's a little bit difficult for me to work with bigger font. I might change the font itself rather than doing the plus or minuses. That might be helpful as well. Dungeon event map should. Fact. We want it to be able to add, remove, be serializable. That's a big part. That's a big one, is I want to be able to serialize. Public fact should be JSONable. Okay, this is a big one. We need to be able to save and load this thing as JSON, to and from JSON. Okay. We need to... should be able to add and remove events. Add event. Void should contain... should contain... should add event at position. Okay, so given an event, a position and a tile event, we want to be able to add it in there. Okay, so we actually need events at. Okay, so we're gonna look at these two things here. Can add event. What is the outcome here? And always add an event. If we do an add event, it just puts it in there. Maybe return the count. And should add events here. Okay, so let's try this. This would look like dungeon event map dot add event at some position. So we're going to pass a position in, and then event to add. And maybe want to add multiple events. Map. There might even need to be an add all events, but let's start with just this one. Events at position should contain event to add. There we go. So we need to have a position here, and an event action, event to add. What did this expect? Tile event. Okay. Okay, so let's look at it. We'll make this a theory. We'll create some member data that we're going to pass it into and add events at position data. We'll create name of. We'll add one of these in here. This will be our add event at position data. XTC, great to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Haven't been on Twitch too much lately. I've been gone for a little bit as well. I was out of town for about 10 days. So glad to be glad to be back. Glad to have you here. How the heck have you been? Always wonderful to see you, my friend. What have you been up to? All right, so we're gonna take our dungeon event map here, and we're gonna give it a position. So we'll do a new position, 5, new tile event. We'll give it a name. All right, so this is gonna be teleport player event. The event triggers on enter, and we'll make it. All we really need is some kind of proxy event action. Most recently, I was working on a Discord bot that was commissioned from me. Very nice. Very nice. So I'm pretty sure we can do a substitute.for, and I'm curious if we can do this. Substitute for. This is going to be a event action. I'm curious if we can actually do this. I'm not sure if we can do it on abstract types or not. We'll find out though. And the reason I feel like we could do this is we don't need, it's not actually going to do it. We're just checking if it can add and retrieve this thing, not if we can serialize it. Most recent, yeah. How was your Discord bot? If tell us about that. I've been wanting to make a Discord bot for a while now, probably for over a year. I think it'd be really fun to do it. Let's try 2.7 tests exits on exits like that. All right, so this should fail. We have these two tests here. It's going to check the positions, the tile event. We can add the event and then check if the event is at that position as well. These should fail. I should get 2 failing tests, and then I'm gonna try to implement these 2 methods. And really, I want to be able to add multiple. I should be able to add multiple tile events. So part of me wants to do that as well. Let's create some stubs here. I'm gonna create a mock. I'm going to create a internal, because I don't really like this here. We're going to do an internal mock event action, internal class, make it a record as well. Mock event action. It's going to extend our event action. And it is just, its invoke, it just does nothing. It just does nothing. It doesn't throw an exception. It just accepts it, does nothing with it. The one thing I want to do here is make it have a string identifier. So that way I can create some mocks of these. So I can do a static mock event action. We'll call this teleport player mock. Teleport player, like this. So I can create these damage player mock. So we can substitute these in damage player mock. All right, so rather than doing this substitute here, I can have a specific one, and this will allow us to do some equality checks, make sure it's the same one, damage player mock, like that, and test it out. What OS are you using? I currently am on Windows. I use Mac and Linux as well, but Windows is the computer I typically stream from. I just find streaming's a little bit easier. Anas error 404, welcome to the stream, by the way. XTC says, it was a bot some currency exchange server wanted from me. It lets their exchange claim an exchange, for example. If someone had 15 PayPal dollars and wanted to Cash App instead, they create an exchange, it'd show the fee, the server charges, then one of the exchange would complete. That sounds like an interesting little exchange bot for them to use to make money. I was hired a few summers ago to create a bot that worked in, this was like a scary bot. I was like, you gotta be really careful with this thing. But they wanted a bot that would sit in a Discord server and listen for commands, and it would connect to a Robinhood API and do like trades for you. I was like, this is a dangerous bot. And I told him, like, just so you know, there's a dangerous bot to have it listen to a chat. What if you get hacked or something? But listen, they wanted to be able to send commands in Discord to have it do trades for them. And I told them to be careful with it. But that was a cool project nonetheless, working with the Robinhood API. It's me, the crazy captain. There's a lot of people who love use cases like those. Yeah, it was great for them. They're like, well, it's a closed server, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's fine. Just know that you could get hacked or something. So you just got to be really careful with it. And so we set it up so that they could put limits and stuff in to how much it could actually do. But they wanted it to be able to be connected to stuff. I think it's just humid here. I do have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Sorry if it's coming through on the stream. I apologize for that. I don't feel sick. The humidity here this morning is really high, so I think that's affecting my my nostrils a little bit. So I apologize for that. I don't feel sick. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to be able to create events here, mock action. And this will let me create a mock tile, mock event. This will be a tile event. Mock teleport event. We'll just do it this way. I wanted to be able to add multiples to it, like this. And this will be a static tile event damage event equals, and we'll take this down here as well, because I want to be able to add multiple in. There we go. So we can do the following. We'll do teleport event, damage event. So we can add an individual one, but I also want to be able to add in multiples. So we'll have teleport event, comma, damage event, like that. And we will ask this to a IEnumerable of tile event. Let me do that. No. Let's try tile event array. What is this complaining about? I'm surprised. 1 second. If I do this, it's happy. An object of object arrays. Is this game fully just C#? Are you using Unity too? XTC, I'm using Unity as a renderer, but I'm using Unity in an interesting way in which all of the code is written outside of Unity, or as much as possible is written outside of Unity. I'm stretching my limits here. Hyper, welcome back to stream. Congratulations on number 10. Limit says the option to redeem views is not showing what is going on. I think you're saying the option to redeem channel points. So I need to make a command for this to explain it. I'm not an affiliate. So you're saying there's no button here. This is what you're referring to, Lumen. There's no channel points. There's no channel points. I'm not an affiliate, so I don't get channel points. But if you do an exclamation points, we have Captain Coder points, and those can be used to redeem. Yeah, I know, those can be used to redeem down here. Yeah, not an affiliate. I need to create a command for the affiliate there. Affiliate. I don't think I made it. I thought about making it, but I didn't actually make it. But yeah, I'm not an affiliate, so I don't get channel points. All right. Okay. So someone was asking, I think it was UXTC, am I using Unity? So I have Unity here, but the interesting thing is there are no scripts written in Unity here. They are all part of these DLLs. They all get compiled and added in here. So I am writing code. The thing that is really interesting here, is everything still works, it runs, but what's fun about it, what's really, really fun about it is I can use C# 12 features. So I can use XUnit. Anything that's not getting put in can be using .NET 8. The things that get compiled in, I can specify that I want to use Net Standard 2.1. So Net Standard 2.1 is compatible with Unity. So it compiles to Net Standard 2.1. So those DLLs are compatible with Unity. But I can specify using language version 12 here. Can you play debug? I want to see how it's looking. Yeah. So let's check it out. Let's see if I broke anything. There's not much going on yet. I'm going to report you for being a nice human being. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I am a nice human being. Oh, the teleport is still in there. Let me compile real quick. Let me get the latest version of the code in. If it'll build, .NET build. You're using .NET inside of Unity. I'm compiling to DLLs and then using that. So .NET, so you can actually, the coolest thing is you can compile F#, you can compile VB scripts, VB.NET, anything that compiles to .NET Standard 2.1 or below. You can do .NET Standard 1.6 and .NET 2.0 as well. Will work in here. So check this out though. Yeah, there's no scripts in here. That's not entirely true. I've done a few play tests. So I have scripting tests here just for my test runner here. I was testing some stuff out. So, but these are not code that's included. Let's check it out now though. There's not a lot going on in here. Really, we have a map generator. So our tool generates this labyrinth for us. So we have this labyrinth. It's not very, we're using thin walls, so it's a little bit interesting. But this takes in a JSON file. So you'll notice my scene is empty here. There's a JSON file that is used, and we can build the dungeon from that JSON file. This JSON file is constructed outside of Unity, and I'm going to hand it off to Unity or have a database so you can actually have different maps that you load in. But if we look at my data here, this one is the random layout. So this one was randomly generated, but I can set it up. Let me go up a directory here. Let me modify my dungeon data. I have different wall maps here. Simple square. I'll load this one up here. Let's rebuild it. So now this map here is just a little room that has, and the thin wall, so it's a little hard to see. Just looks like this. I have another tool that I created outside of Unity that lets me make these maps. This allowed for seeded maps since you built off JSON. Exactly. So this tool lets me build random maps. I can just create a new map here, and it lets me actually build out my maps here. This is outside of Unity, and it saves as a JSON file that can be loaded in. And so what I'm doing is this is why I'm saying like I'm building an engine. I'm doing air quotes, I'm building an engine. Unity is just a renderer for the engine. You could write an engine that renders with just WebGL. You could write an engine that anything that can use the C# code should be able to render it. The reason I'm using Unity is because it provides a pretty easy to use 3D tooling and builds for web. So those are sort of the responses, the things that I'm looking for there. But yeah, Lumen, when you say compile, let me show you real quick what I mean. My code here, let's go look at my dungeon crawler code real quick. So in my dungeon crawler, my map looks like this. Here's my wall map. This is my wall map here. This is the code for my wall map. It's just a dictionary in here. The thing that is cool, one of the things that oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is for generating a random map. That's fine. Let me show you some of the features I get for using .NET External. I can use record classes. This is not something that you can typically do in a Unity project. I can use record classes here. I can use advanced pattern matching. I think this might be available in Unity actually, but I can use I'm doing advanced pattern matching here. I can use C# 12 features, not .NET 8 features, but C# 12 features in all of my code because I'm writing it external. And then the other thing that's really cool is I can actually drop that anywhere. One thing that is interesting is I have this Unity, all of my Unity mono behaviors code as well. I'm writing that external, check this out. I'm still using C# 12 features, but I can write mono behaviors that utilize the C# 12 features. So this is really the only one I have, the player view controller here, player movement controller here. And we can then drop these into a Unity project with the DLLs and get access to those mono behaviors. So I'm essentially trying to write, one of the things I've been thinking about doing for a long time is, can I write a Unity project without using the Unity editor? Which is a crazy thing to do, I believe. I think it's a pretty crazy thing to do. It's not the smart way to do it. It's not the easy way to do it. I'm doing it because I can, and I'm basically saying, can I push this to the limits? How far can I push it? And it turns out you can push it pretty far so far. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to make my scenes, create a scene or like the project, the asset structure, this stuff. You can get pretty far though. I think if I make a basic project that has one scene that has a single node in it called like game source or something, and then we use the command line tools to do all the building, I think we can get pretty far. It's pretty cool. I don't know if that answered your question or if it makes any sense. Feel free to ask for clarifications. Are you uploading this video so that we can study to replicate? Yeah, and the entire source code is, we're streaming to YouTube. So over on YouTube, we have an archive if you want to go back and watch what we've been doing. I'm going to be writing some blog posts. I think at the end of each week, I'm going to start trying to write a blog post maybe a couple times a week. I am also, the project's completely open source as well. If you want to go look at the code, there's a link to the GitHub repository. In fact, I'd love if people wanted to open up issues, create pull requests, submit your own assets and stuff to this project. I'd love that. I love that. Let's make it an open source game jam project. Anyone can contribute. We do have a core team. Myself as the programmer, I have an artist and a composer as well. Or I shouldn't say I have. The team consists of me. We're all working together. It's not my team. It is my, it's our team. It's our team. But that's sort of what we're doing with that here. And so just continuing to learn and grow and code and learn new things. This makes it a little bit easier. What's interesting here is some of these tiles are fake walls, which is kind of an interesting thought. Let me go ahead and delete these. It keeps the scene size much smaller to not have these in here. Boom. I almost did it. What did I delete? Did I actually delete anything? Undo. Get rid of that. But yeah, one thing I'd like to do is make Unity just the render. I have a lot of questions and want to know more, but we'll stop there. Ask. Don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to answer. That's why I'm here. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Captain Anosa, number 11. Welcome to the stream. Captain Anosa, how we doing, my friend? How we been? How's it do? Great to have you. How are your crocodiles? Okay, so our dungeon event match should. Do I have to do new? I would like to make this a list type here, but I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. New tile event array. Okay, I can do that. Did I just not put the right type on the cast? There we go. I didn't put the right type on the cast. That's what happened. I'm familiar with Unity. Let's say I want to contribute to the project. I fork it. How do I run it inside Unity, though? You just open up the Unity project and click run. That's all you got to do. Hyper, how was the vacation? Missed you. Oh, I had such a good time. We went kayaking. We had a night hike. We did an astronomy night hike. So we had people who are telling us about all of the constellations. It was great hanging out with my students in person. They're all fabulous, wonderful people. Add event here, and this is going to be an array of events to add. So add event. I want to make this be a params. Can I do params here? There we go. Params. Really. All right, let's do one event, and then we'll add. All right, we're going to do one event. Sorry. Let's go back in time. If I could turn back time, I can. I'm going to turn back time. There we go. All right, so these fail. We did kayaking. We did a high ropes course. We did a bunch of hiking. We saw llamas. We saw goats. It was beautiful. It was awesome. You can make these read only. I missed you guys too, though. I was excited to be back. Thank you for sharing. JD, welcome back to the stream. Great to have you here. Folks, you guys don't know the incredible, the invaluable, the unstoppable. JD
like
does dev.
Captain.
We should go give him some love. Thank you for hanging out with us, JD.
I am not the captain, but my eyebrows also move in a way like the captain.
What? JD, we can't give you any more, apparently. Why not? Could not add currency. I don't understand. JDs. I don't know why we can't give you any more JDs. Apparently you're too powerful. Apparently you're too powerful. That's so weird. Firebot, bro. My crypto has busted. It's true. It's against the law, apparently. .NET test. Okay. So I want to implement this. I know they're failing. And internally, I want to represent these as a dictionary, private. And part of me wants to have like this thing called like a serializable dictionary, but we'll deal with that later. Private dictionary. This is going to go from a position. Is that right? We need to have the position and name. All right, so position and name. Position, and string name to a tile event. We don't have to have that there. This is sort of like our dictionary entry because the position in here, we want to be able to remove it by the position and name and then clear all the events there as well. Vinci says, a question that's been bugging me the whole time. Why is dark mode used more than light mode? Are there studies that it's better for the eyes? I think the studies actually say it's worse for the eyes, but I'm not sure. I'm actually a fan of light mode. I use dark mode because people yell at me if I don't. That's really how I feel about it. We'll call this event. We'll make it a new dictionary here. We're going to make it read only when we construct this thing. Ooh, what is this telling me? It's saying initialization can be simplified. Oh, I love it. I love that. I use light mode so the screen lights up my face. That's how I get my programmer tan. That's how I get my programmer tan. How are you supposed to get your programmer tan if you don't do that? I mean, have bad eyesight and I want to preserve it as long as possible. I would talk to an optician. Is optician the right one? Ophthalmologist, optician, optician. Look, I'm not a wordologist. Optician. I would talk to an optician about it. See if they could help you out. Is that someone is an eye care specialist? I talked to an optician. They're gonna know way better than I do. You're gonna know way better than any person on Twitch that, you know, any programmer or something. They'll know more. They'll know more because I know a lot of people wear the blue light glasses and all kinds of stuff for preserving the eyes. From what I know, those don't. They're placebos. That said, placebos can be wonderful, but I would talk to an optician. So our ad event here is going to do events. We need a list of events in there because we want to have multiple at the same one here. I don't even talk to obstetricians about it though. They'll try to dilate the wrong things. I think that's supposed to be a joke. What's interesting here is I have a list. This needs to be a list of tile events. I need to Google something real quick. Go for it. Go for it. You can Google. Part of me wants to have a dictionary of dictionaries here. I'm wondering if this is a reasonable thing to do or if it's painful to do. Feels a little bit painful, but I want to be able to clear out. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's go with this for now. Feels odd, but internally we want to be able to look it up by the string. It could just be a list. There's not going to be that many in there. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this internally. It's going to be a list of tile events, like so. The hyper. Thank you for the cloud of disapproval. I'm sorry if we've offended you in some way. What I want to do is we want to do events.tryGetValue and say if we can get this, it's going to be our position out. It's going to be our list of tile events. If we get this list, we're good. But really what I want to do is if we don't get the list, events is going to be equal to a new list. And events should be called tile events. Events at position is going to be equal to tile events like this. And then down here, we'll do tile events dot add to add. But we don't want to add the same one twice, I think. Holy cannoli, fix it, 42. I love you, you know I do. Fix it 42 with that big old raid today. Folks, if you don't know Fix It 42, the incredible human being, incredible mother, incredibly fabulous developer streamer. Fix it. Click that link, folks. Click it. Click it. You know you want to. What were you up to on your stream, my friend? Thank you for sending your crew here with us. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome aboard. Fix it. What were you working on? Code Monk. Sorry. Lance, welcome to the stream. Fix it. What have you been up to? What did you do? What did you accomplish? Tell us all about it. One thing that's important here is I don't want to add this event twice. If the event was already there, or do we want to be able to add the same event twice? Really, if the event has the same name, we don't want to add in there. So now I'm realizing there's some conflicts here. There's some conflicts in here of how I want to do this. teleport player, damage player, or do we want to be able to add it, you know, removing the event thing here? Tyrone's Luck says, hey, new to Fix It stream today, now new here too, many new things today. Whoa, Tyrone, we're happy to have you here. Happy to keep, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Tyrone, am I pronouncing that correct? Tyrone's Luck. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Glad you're here. We are working on a dungeon crawler for Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. So that's what we're working on today. Fix It says, I was setting things up for an IRL stream testing. Awesome. Got a raid and run. We are be live again later today for live tests. So lots to do. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Thank you for popping in. And remember to keep coding Fix It. Keep growing Fix It. And you're welcome back anytime. Thank you so much again for the raid. Lance says, Cap, doing well, thank you. I'm getting closer with the dictionaries, range bands, target difficulty values. It's coming along. Awesome. Lance, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to the stack. We gotta get the stack started. Boom. With the hat redeem. Thank you. Ooh, that goes with this shirt. Yeah. Thank you for the hat redeem, Lance. I appreciate it. Tyrone, thank you. Thank you. It is a pretty nice hat. Tyrone followed me, you know, Tyrone's following me. Tyrone, welcome aboard. Tyrone, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. How are we an hour in without one? I know people just, look, I think people thought my hair was looking fresh. People probably thought my hair was just looking good. Didn't want to ruin it. Lance, that's okay though. I think I look good with the hat. The hat's nice. So how do I want to treat this event here with the name? If I add the same event, should it actually add it in twice? I think not. I think we shouldn't add the same event twice. If you add the same one twice, you know, or at least the same name. Yeah, so there's something interesting here. There's something very interesting here that I hadn't considered. So we have a list of events. Can we just add as many as we want? Do we have to, when we remove an event, do we also have to give an index of the one to remove? The events at. How do I want to interact with this thing? I suspect I'll actually be doing it by index. Here, let's keep going with this add. What are the results expected to be? And so adding multiple events is going to be something we have to do. I wear it well. Thank you, Lance. I do my best to do my duty. Okay. So we will add it in here like this. And then our IEnumerable is pretty straightforward in that it will return if event, can we do events, return events dot default, get value or default. So we're gonna get a value at the position specified, and the default value is going to be the empty list. Okay, so this is pretty simple here. Like that. For over 70 folks watching, if you have 500 points, that hat thing, just saying. Yeah, I think we got a lot of lurkers. That's okay though. I love me a good lurk. As a professional lurker myself, I get it. Fix It brought in quite a hefty amount too, so that number might need to the number of all right, so this is working. This dungeon map here, or these test pass is what I should say. One of the things I need to consider is, like, you know, add multiple events. So let's do a theory here. Remember, let's write the name of this method. Public void add event at position, add multiple events at position, and then this is going to be a tile event array events to add. We want to be able to add multiples at that position. I used to be a lurker just like you, then I took an arrow to the knee. Oh, Lance, You make me smile, you make me blush, you make me many things. Add multiple events at position data. Okay. And now we can do teleport event. This is where I need to do the tile event array. Tile event array. And then we can add in, let's do three damage event and teleport event like this. That's going to be very similar to this one. Create a map. We add event, but we want to do this for add events. Maybe I should have it just take in 2 so we can test that it takes in multiple like that. Might be a better first event, tile event, second event. That's really what I want. All right. Teleport event, damage event. We'll do it in the other order as well. Damage event, teleport event. I think that'll be okay. Now, up here, map events at position should count should be 1. This one we're gonna do first event, second event. Event at count, that should be 2. And I think we're allowed to add the same event twice. Okay. Should contain first event, should contain second event. All right, let's test it out. But I am surprised we don't have more hats. Okay, so that that one, logically felt like it was going to be no problem to me. The next thing that's interesting is try remove event. We kind of need to have an index of which one we want to get as well. So I know since there's this list there, we're getting back an IEnumerable, but part of me actually feels like the lists would actually be more useful because we need to have indices into it. I know an IEnumerable keeps us a little bit more open, but really I want to do an iRead only list here, like this. So we're gonna get a read only list back, and then we'll have the indices here. So remove event. This is actually going to be the index that we want to remove, and it returns true or false whether or not we actually removed it, and it will return an out of the tile event that we removed if it was successful. iRad dev, you're so great. How are you folks? You guys know the iRad dev? Not the me rad dev, not the you rad dev, the iRad dev. Go check him out. iRad. If you guys want to be a moderator, if you guys want to be a mod on a stream, iRad's the place to be because everyone's a mod. Is that true, iRad? Is everyone over there a mod? Maybe Tall's a mod. I believe everyone's a mod over at iRad Dev. Even if you don't want to be. It is true. Look, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, look, if everyone can ban anyone, then no one will get banned because the repercussions will be too great. At least I'm trying. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Guys, go check out iRad Dev. What have you been working on your stream, iRad? Okay. We get this back. So try remove here. Clear events app. We could call it remove all events at this position here. Anarchy. That's right, Tempest Deal. Anarchy. JD, am I not with your love? Are you not a mod over there, JD? If everyone can ban, you are all banned together. Yeah, I'm back to the prototyping tables for my project. I stopped implementing heavy systems before the game loop is ready. Gotcha. You hop on the bandwagon. Lance with the puns. You're a punny guy, Lance. All right, so the dungeon event map should. We want to be able to remove and remove all. Get this list back. I love it. It's .NET test. I think these are all still passing. I did modify it. Tests give us some confidence, though. All right, beautiful. Let's keep going here. Try remove event, remove all events. Okay, so we should have a fact, or really this might be a theory, but we'll start with a fact here. Public void should remove event by index. I don't know that I can make this one a theory too much. Maybe I could. I could. Because we just have to construct. It's a little bit tricky because we have to add some stuff in first and then do things with it. Let's write it as a fact first and see how we do. So this would be a dungeon, event map equals a new one, and then map.add event, new position 0, 0. We'll go with our damage event. Then we want to go with our teleport event. So we should have two things here. Map.elements, map.events at new position 0, 0. It's going to give us back an list. So this should be a I read only list of tile events. And what I want to do is do the remove at event. Okay. This is where the trickiness comes in because the index needs to be associated with the index from this. So I do int ix equals events dot index events dot. Is there not an index of? Ooh, find. That's interesting. Does I read only list? Let's look at this. It just has an indexer in it. A read-only collection. Ooh, that's fascinating. Read-only list is not indexable. Fascinating. It's not indexable. So I actually need this to be a traditional list. That is super weird to me. That a read-only list is not indexable. Yeah. It's going well, IRAD Dev. We're making a lot of progress. We have a simple dungeon crawler movement controls going on. I'm working on adding in scriptable events. So in our editor, we're going to be able to write. So I'm building sort of like an engine, so to speak. I'm building a tool to you can create maps, create dungeons, and then you can actually write JavaScript to control different events on the map. And I'm working on the tooling right now to be able to get those events added via an editor, via the editor. Right now, we have it working where you can actually do JavaScript and it builds and it runs and stuff. I'm working on making it so that we can get that. We can actually add them in our tooling. Index of. This is interesting. What is index of? It's part of list. Is it part of iList? Can we go look at iList? I don't think iList. iList of int. iList index. iList has index of. This is so interesting to me that I read only list is not a list. That's crazy. You can index into it, but you can't get the index of. I'm fascinated by that. What about read-only list? I don't think there actually is a read-only list. I'm so perturbed by that. So we do index of damage event here. And then we'll say events dot, so not events, map dot remove, try remove event. This would be in position. I'm gonna create a new variable, position, position equals new position 0 0. And simplify this. Just swap that in here. Position, position, position. We'll try and remove position IX. This should return true. Out. Tile event removed. All right, and this is going to be our bool was successful. We're going to say was successful dot should be true. Removed dot should be damage event. And then the number of things in that position should actually be one less here. So map dot events at position dot count dot should be, and now we have this. It's so interesting. Should be 1. Yeah, the interface for iRead-only list is not it doesn't provide list-like features. I don't like that. All right, so this should fail, .NET test, but we should only have one failure currently. Sorry, .NET test. Let's try again. All right, so we have one failed test here. We're going to be able to remove by an index here, and we just haven't implemented try remove. We shouldn't be able to remove something that doesn't exist. Public void remove event by index. Remove event by index fails, returns false on no entry. So one more thing here to test. We want to have our map, and map dot try remove event new position 0 0 index 0 out is an ignored value here. Bool actual dot should be false. We shouldn't be able to remove something that isn't there, so it's a try remove. We get a false back in that case. And there should be no modifications to the map itself. Let's try and implement this. Try remove. We will, if events dot try get value at position, this is going to be a list of tile events at position. So if this is the case, we're going to return false. So check it out. We're going to start we'll do removed is equal to default. Needs to be nullable. The question is, do I add a null here? There's a command not null when true. Okay, so we know it's not null when this method returns true. This will not be null. So this gives our compiler a little bit of information about that. Next, we want, given our index, we're going to say, and events at position dot count is greater than ix. In this case, we're going to set return to be events at position ix. Sorry, this should be removed. And then we return true, like this. Pagorli! It's Pagorli again! Pagorli, how's it going, my friend? Welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We have this method here. I think this logic makes sense. Okay. Congratulations on number 13, Pagorli. Okay, it still fails. That's interesting. Thought try remove. I didn't actually remove it from the list. That makes sense. Events at position.remove at ix. Still failing. Okay, this is why we write unit tests and we don't just trust ourselves to get it right. Let's look at what's going on here. Let's go into our unit test. Let's reload these. What's going on with this? I think I'm allowed to do that. Okay. To return the tile event question mark. We'll run these tests. Our dungeon event map here is failing down here. These two, which I'm a little bit surprised by. Let's take a look at that. Was successful should be true. It was false. Let's add a breakpoint here. And remove event by index. And we'll debug this test here. There it goes. And we'll just step into this method to see what's going on. Step into. Okay, let's take a look. This has an event. Okay, so our events here has this list inside. We have two values inside. Okay, we have two values inside. If, I see what I did here. I marked if this does not have a value. Okay. This is why the debugger is great. So if it does have the value and, okay, I was doing like an inverse thing there, which might make a little bit more sense, but let's do a .NET test here. I think I found the bug. Or my logical quandary. There we go. That's why we write tests. We done did it, folks. That would have been a terrible mistake. I wouldn't have known until way later down the line. Okay, so try remove event, remove all events. We'll just clear out that list there at the end. The serialization of this is going to be really interesting as well. So remove all events at a position. Should be pretty easy to do, but let's write a test for it. So our test is passed. Let's rerun this here. Get those to go away. We'll add in a fact, public void, remove all events at position. Okay, so let's create a dungeon event map. Add a bunch of stuff, add two things to it. Like this. Then we're gonna do our map.remove all events at position, and then we will assert that we've actually won. Giant raid, holy cannoli, the dev dad. Thank you so much for the raid. I think dev dad command. Folks, you guys know the incredible, the wonderful, the incredible dev dad trifecta of awesome. Father, streamer, software engineer. Go check him out, folks. Incredible stuff going on there. Working on a React Native app called Embedder. It's a social network app to help you build habits, a habit-forming social network app. Awesome, incredible stuff going on there. DevDad, how is your stream going over there? What'd you get? What'd you accomplish? If you got a ready to run, feel free to do so. You have a beautiful day, my friend. Holy cannoli. Thank you so much for the huge raid. Formal Goose Foundation, welcome back to the stream. It's great to have you here. For anyone who's new here that doesn't know who I am, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me. And me is a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. It's my full-time job. I absolutely love my job. This stream is dedicated to learning and coding and growing together as a crew. And I'm so glad you're here with us. We are going to, we are working on the DC Jam, the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. I'm getting old, Billy. You're not old. You're old. Look, you're as old as you feel. So I hope you don't feel old. Congratulations on number 14, Sidran. Thank you for being here. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, Sidran, great to have you. Billy, great to have you. We are working on a tooling kit. A tooling kit for creating a dungeon crawler. So for Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024, we did this last year as well. We're building out a new engine here. What are we working on today? We're working on adding in scripting support. Mateus F777, thank you for following me today. Oh, Mateus, thank you for following me today. Thank you for the follow, Mateus Rainey. Congratulations on number 16. Get those bonus points while you can. Get them good. Billy, congratulations. You can only, sorry, here, first, claimed, they're all the same. But what we're doing, let me show you a little bit of what we got going on right now. We have a very simple, I'm using Unity as a rendering tool for this. We are building out here a tool for creating dungeon crawl games. It has to be a first-person dungeon crawl. It does have to be a grid-based, it's a first-person, these are often called gridders here. But we can move around in this dungeon. It snaps to the position, so it's classic old school. So we have this going on. I have an editor that I've built here. Let me show you that. So I have an editor here for creating these maps. And I'm working on adding in. So in this editor here, we can build these maps out. We can add walls. We can add doors, like so. So we sort of have like this analog entry tools. So we take this, we can convert this into a JSON format that can be used in our renderer. What I'm working on today is adding in scripting support. So you're going to be able to, in each of these tiles, add in different events. So for example, we can add an event that says when you move into this position, for example, move into this position, maybe there's a person here, there's some dialogue that shows up on the screen, maybe your player stepped into a trap, maybe it's a teleport trap, maybe they step on spikes. We're adding in some JavaScript support here. So our project's gonna support adding scripts into our game. So that's what we're working on right now. We're writing some unit tests for our dungeon event map here. So dungeon event map is the data structure that's going to manage this for us and needs to be JSONable. There's some requirements that needs to be able to turn it into JSON, so it needs to be saved, loaded. And so we're writing unit tests for this right now. The great thing, we already caught a couple logical errors by writing unit tests. I accidentally put this exclamation point here, and that was a thing that we caught right away. So because I wrote my test, I didn't have to wait until later when I was writing it, and I also know gives me confidence it's gonna work. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a test now for our remove all events at. All right, so this is what we're testing, remove all events at a position. And then what we want to assert here is that the events at that position have all been removed. So remove all events at, and then events at position dot count that should be 0. this is the test that we're writing. Generate a map. So this is our arrange, act, and then assert. So we do AAA testing and give us some confidence here that this is going to work out. Now this is going to fail because I haven't actually implemented it, or it should fail. And then when I go and I write my implementation, it should pass. So this helps us know whether or not, yeah, so there it goes, it's failing. Let's go ahead and write our test, write the implementation, and then we should be able to start. Once we have this, we'll need to make it JSONable. And then we're gonna go ahead and add it in, add a feature here for creating those scripts, which is gonna be a little bit interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that's gonna look like. If you add UI tests are tricky. UI tests are tricky. Can we write, Formal Goose Foundation, what would you recommend for doing UI tests? So I'm not doing, this isn't like a web browser, right? So I've used Selenium and stuff to do UI tests. What would you recommend for doing unit tests? If you've used Unity, unit testing interface in Unity is interesting. I can think of some ways to do that. I don't know how if I handle like user clicking and stuff. I don't know how to test it for my console Raylib application. So when you say UI test, could you send me some links to what you mean? Maybe some resources? Because maybe we're thinking of different things. Okay, remove all events at... This one should be pretty good. Does Appium do Unity? That's a good question. Appium Unity. It looks like maybe Appium 2.0 for game testing. I don't know. I've never alt Unity tester. Unity has some built-in support though for doing playtests. So Unity uses NUnit to do playtests, and you can do user clicks and stuff like that. That's built into their test runner. So I know how to do it in Unity, and that's not too bad. You can also do record and replay edits as well. So Unity, or at least there's a plugin for it. I don't know if it's built in, but you can actually do a record yourself doing stuff and then have it play back and then do assertions as you go. But their test runner lets you do stuff where you can have play mode and then you do stepwise stuff, say, well, let this much time pass, check what the outcome is, which is pretty cool. So in this case, we're gonna do events.remove at position. I think this is all we really have to do for this one, is we're gonna remove all the events. And this should clear that out. I think this is as simple as that. I could be wrong though. Okay, cool. That worked out. The next thing that's interesting is I want to be able to serialize and deserialize. Let's get a commit in for this. Get, add. Let's make sure nothing, let's do a .NET format on it first. Get our formatting all nice and beautiful. Let's see what it yelled at us for though. Thunder, I'm doing absolutely wonderful, my friend. I hope you're doing wonderful. Let's eyeball this, make sure nothing crazy is going on in here. Code analysis. What is this doing? Is this necessary? What is code analysis? Oh, it's not null win. Okay, that's interesting. Is this part? It must be part of it. Can get add and commit in one line below. By the way. Well, I don't always necessarily want to add and commit in one line. Yeah, I know I can do a commit and then do an add in there. I want to make sure I'm reviewing what I've done here to make sure there's nothing crazy going on in here. So like this technically is not should not be part of this commit. This one's separate. So I actually want this to be separate. Chore. Organize prelude. This is really a refactor of JavaScript event action. Yeah, so I find it a little bit dangerous to do an add and commit all in one line. In my opinion, it's a little bit dangerous. That's how you get like weird stuff accidentally added. I didn't mean to open up that. See, I need to be able to generate this. This would be really interesting to be able to generate stuff like that. All right, that's also not part of what we're doing. These things here. Apocalypse theory. Apocalypse theory has followed me today now. Apocalypse. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Thank you for following, and I hope you enjoy your stay today. Apocalypse, my friend, welcome to the crew today. Thank you for the follow, Apocalypse. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure this all looked good. Okay, so this actually is the feature I've added. Oh, this is another thing here. This one is just like removing unused scripts. This is the real code I did here. So this is a feature. Dungeon event map should. And then the things it should do, these are the features that we added in. Add events, remove events, add events and remove events. There we go. Thunder, how's the game looking? We can take a look at it. The game, it's going all right. It's going all right. Proton Fig, thank you again for the follow. Proton followed me again. Thank you for following me again. Thunder says, I just add and commit, and at the same time, because I reviewed the changes beforehand. Yeah, so I find that if when I've done that in the past, I accidentally do things I don't mean to do. Here's what it looks like right now. It's not much. Doesn't look like much. Classic dungeon crawler vibes to it, though. We can sort of navigate around. It's a little bit hard. If you're watching someone play, it's a little bit tricky to see what I'm doing. But I step forward. I'm going to rotate to the right. I'm going to rotate to the left. I'm going to step forward. So it teleports between the positions like so. Yeah. We can strafe as well. So that was strafing right, strafing left. So we basically have a very simple controller for our game. We generate these maps. We can swap it out with thick walls as well if we wanted to. The thick walls don't look as maybe look a little bit better, but there's sort of different things we can do for it. So that's what we've got. Zuperdan, great to have you here, folks. Zuperdan, the incredible host of Dungeon Crawler Jam here. So you want to go step by step on purpose? Yes. So that is how classic Dungeon Crawler games work. So you'll notice this is the example they give. It's sort of classic pre-3D typically is how these games were done, but made with 2D, 3D in mind. So it feels 3D, but maybe isn't actually 3D. One thing, Zuperdan is also the host of dungeoncrawlers.org. If you're a fan of Dungeon Crawlers, go check them out. Zuperdan, I'm having a blast. We are adding in JavaScript scripting support to our, I'm calling it my engine. I'm hoping to build it in such a way that I can, look, I'm a crazy person. When I use Unity, I'm kind of abusing Unity. I've written 0 scripts inside of my Unity project, but we got JavaScript working. Getting it to work with the WebGL builds was crazy. And annoying. I wanted to do Lua scripting at first, and I ran into a bunch of it. I got it working for desktop builds, and then it wouldn't work for the web build. And it was related to a bunch of weird things, but I ended up giving up on that. Tried JavaScript, ran into similar problems with JavaScript related to interoperating, doing interoperations between the JavaScript and the C#. So the Lua would work, but the interop with C# wouldn't work. JavaScript, same thing, it wouldn't interrupt. And so what I ended up doing, I have this sort of hack going on in it, where what we do is we do a full, and I kind of dislike this, but it's gonna work for now until I can find a better way to do it. We can actually JSONify our data. All right, so we write a JSON, we take our C# object, turn it into JSON, send it to JavaScript, deserialize it in JavaScript, run the code, and then reserialize it and so serialize to JavaScript, deserialize from JavaScript. So this little hack here I can do to do that. And so we're going to end up writing a bunch of scripting functions in here for JavaScript. Just a tiny animation effect to better represent the rotation, and it's perfect. Yeah, so Thunder, that's one of the things that I have listed in my issues here. Smooth transition for camera. Some people like it, some people don't. So I want to make this an option in the menu you can toggle on and off. Same with setting player controls. So switch between instant movement and fast transitional movement. Here, this is essentially, these are the same problems. But yeah, the idea is to mimic the old ones. Just so you know, it can be done nicely. It can be done nicely. How do you draw red edges? I'm using a tool called Zoom It. Did I make a Zoom It command? Yeah, I'm using Zoom It. It lets me draw. It lets me clear the screen. It lets me type hello. It lets me zoom. Whoa! Draw squares. I can change the colors. It's pretty cool. Really, really awesome tool. It's Windows only. It's part of system internals. Fantastic presentation tool. I absolutely love it. Thindle, the incredible Thindle taught us about that one. Okay. Dungeon map we're in the middle of, yeah. So I got these passing. I just did a commit, or is about to do a commit. Okay, I got a commit. There's some cleanup stuff I was doing here. So let's make sure my scene here is update. Okay. So this is just a chore, remove unused imports. There we go. And I'm sure that's going to end up importing again. All right, give me cookie. I need a cookie command. Mushi999. Have you met Mushi? They have followed the captain today. You know, Mushi, you're great, you're grand, you're cool. Thank you for following me. So I want this dungeon event map. We need to be able to serialize it and deserialize it and get the exact same thing back. This is going to be a tricky part. In my IO module, I'm going to go ahead and add this in here as part of my IO module and add it to my model extensions here. So this project's going to our dungeon crawler IO. And maybe I put it in there, but I like to keep this separated. You got to keep it separated. And then my IO module does not necessarily need to be imported everywhere. .NET add reference to, and it also makes me keep in mind what's private and public. We can only serialize things that are not public. And so we're gonna have to add a special serialization model because it has a dictionary inside. So we got to figure out how to do that. And then we'll probably have to figure out how to serialize dungeon crawler.scripting. We're gonna have to figure out how to serialize and deserialize our events. It's gonna be really, really tricky. Or maybe it won't be tricky. I'm hoping it won't be too hard. But we've added that in here. What I want to be able to do to JSON, yeah, so we're gonna add in public static string to JSON. We need to be able to do this dungeon event map. For now, it's going to throw a new not implemented exception. What's going on here? There's a circular dependency. This relies on the IO module? What is it using in the IO module? I don't know if that's true. Is it a great idea to practice Python? I want to do cybersecurity. There's nothing wrong with practicing Python. Python's a great language. Okay, so there we go. Maybe? Hang on, build failed. What's going on here? I'm super confused. Not implemented exception. Python's a fine language to use. It's not one of my favorite languages, but there's lots of libraries, there's lots of resources, there's lots of people that use it. So it is a good programming language. I just don't think it's the best programming language. Thank you for the hat, Redeem Proton. Let's get a hat added to this stack. Boom. There it is. Thank you for the hat. Proton says, by the way, you know Zuperdan here is legend also, creator of the Amiga game of the year 2023. I didn't know. I know Zuperdan's a legend. I didn't know he won the Amiga game of the year 2023 though. That's really cool. If you got a link to that, feel free to send me a link. We might take a look. That's awesome. What's going on here? Let me reload. Something weird is going on. This is one of the issues I run into with using Visual Studio Code rather than Visual Studio. Come on, yell at me. Tell me I'm missing something here. Proton's an absolute legend, folks. Proton Fig. Commodore 64 coding guru, musician, graphician. Absolute legend. Have you heard of the new Doom style game being developed for Amiga? It's called Dread. No, I haven't. Why am I not getting errors here? What is this? It should be part of. Is it not part of my solution? Oh, .NET SLN add dungeon crawler. .io. Oh, super weird. I didn't apparently it wasn't. This has not been a part of this whole time. That's interesting. Sidran says for cybersecurity, Python can be used sometimes, but you'll be doing a lot more Bash, PowerShell. That sounds accurate. Throw new not implemented exception. What did I put? Okay. Now we build. All right, so now we can work on our test here. So, and our dungeon map should be JSONable. So I want to build up a sample dungeon map, serialize it, and then deserialize it. So we're gonna create a new dungeon event map. It's a new. Really, this should be a couple different ones. So I'm gonna make this one a theory. Checking the equality of dungeon event maps is interesting. We want to make sure that they contain all of the same events, not necessarily the same order in the order, but the size and stuff matters. So let's start with a single one. We'll build it up here, and then we'll turn it into a theory. So I want to be able to test with a couple different maps, not just that it works on one. All right, so we're gonna do map.add. We gotta create a couple events to add to. So let's create a JavaScript event action. Action equal, because this is the important ones that I want to build a script. And we can just put some script here. There we go. Map dot add event new position 0 0 new tile event on enter. Wonder if this, I feel like this doesn't actually need a name. It should actually be based on the trigger. And then the event would be action itself. I'm feeling like this goes away. And you know what? I think I'm going to drop the name here. Think we're going to drop the name because it's not doing anything. It's not achieving anything. In our editor, we might be able to add one. I'm not sure. We'll see. It should not affect these tests at all. Okay. We're going to add this event here. There is an equality check on these. That's great. Let's add more events. Action. We'll do event 0. Event 1, event 2. Some we'll just put, just to make these distinct, event 0, event 1, event 2. Let's add another one on exit, event 1. And in a different spot, map dot add event new position 1 1, new tile event, event dot on enter, event 2, like that. Okay, so we have this map, these different events. We need to do map dot to JSON, like this, JSON. We want to then retrieve this object, so we should do a dungeon event map restored is going to be our JSON dot load, or what do we call it? Load map from load model. Load model. Is this not an extension? It's not an extension. That makes sense. JSON extensions. JSON extensions dot load model dungeon event map JSON, and then we need to assert that this has the same elements inside of it as the original map. So in this case, we're gonna do map dot events at position 0 0. This should give us back all of these here. The order I don't think matters here, but we want to assert that they're the same. List of tile events at position 0, like this. Just a second. We got to take a break here in a moment too. I've been going way too long. I usually try and take a break every 90 minutes. I haven't been paying attention to my clock. I've been having so much fun that I missed the clock. All right, so events at position 0. We're gonna have events at position 1. So I should put these into variables here. Okay. So position pause 0. Position pause 1. Like this. And I'll swap these out like so. Pause 0. Pause 1. Oh no, this should have been pause 0. And this is pause 1, like so. We have position 0, position 1, and then these are the expected events at pause 0, expected events at pause 1, pause 0, pause 1, and we want to do some assertions on it. Expected events at pause 1 dot count dot should be 2. There should be 2 events there, and then expected events dot pause 0 dot should be subset of oh no, this should be restored dot events at position 0 should be that, and then restored dot events at position 0 should be a subset of expected events at position 0. This is the test. So we want expected events at position 0 dot count. Okay. Same thing for this one down here. We're just gonna swap in position 1 here and here. So one thing to keep in mind, I'm seeing this pattern here. This is sort of where we want to do for each of our different positions. Our positions should map to these different things. Okay. I'm sure when we run this, it's going to fail. It's just going to have a not implemented .NET test. We're going to have, it's going to yell at us saying that, hey, this is not implemented. We're going to get a throw in here. It's Slade. It's Slade. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the Captain's Crew. It's Slades. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you here at Captain Coders Academy. So should be JSONable. All right. Yeah. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We got to take a break. We got this test found. When we come back, we're gonna take a quick break, folks. I'm almost look. I gotta get more water. I've had about 16 ounces of water so far, 500 milliliters. We're gonna get ourselves a little bit more coffee, a little bit more water. We'll be back. We're gonna keep writing. We're gonna keep working on our JSON ability. We're gonna JSON it up. Don't go anywhere. The captain will return. We'll get some stretches in. Hang tight, everybody. All right, everybody, we're back. Walksin, welcome back. Congratulations on number 18, Ascertainment. Congratulations on number 19. It's great to see you beautiful people here. Let's get some stretches in, folks, every 90 minutes, 2 hours tops. We're going to stop, get up, move around, get some stretchings in, and stand on up. I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to implore you, I'm going to engorge you to stand on up. Let me get those stretches in.
You in the
Hang
back.
on, come
Pay
on.
attention.
Dramolks, I see you back there, slacking off. Let's get up, arms up at the side. We're gonna do some trunk twists. Yeah, Prophets, let's get a Richard Simmons. That's what we gotta do, yeah. I can't do a Richard Simmons impression. I should get like Richard Simmons hair, get a leotard, it'd be awesome, awesome. Arms all the way up. Lean to the left, oh. Lean to the right, oh. 2 more times, get it in there, oh yeah. Lovely, lovely stretches, oh. Doesn't that feel good? Let's get some shoulder rolls, roll those shoulders up, back, down, and back. 2, 3, 4, and the elbows, yeah. 2, 3, 4, full arms. 2, 3, 4, roll them forward. 2, 3, 4, and the elbows. 2, 3, 4, full arms. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, shake it out, folks. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't it feel good to be alive? Doesn't it feel good to take it in? Do it all nice. Let's lean that head. Let's grab our ear. Put up, lean that head off to the side. Just hold it there for a moment. Oh, yeah. Get that nice little neck stretch in here. If you feel any pain, stop. You don't want any pain. You just want a nice little stretch here. Let's bring that head back to the other side. Grab that ear, pull it up. Prophets, how you been, my friend? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Oh, yeah. Oh, bring it up back in center. Thank you guys so much for joining. Getting that blood moving a little bit. Get those feet moving. You got to take care of yourself. Look, the captain loves you. You love yourself for joining me in those stretches. 125 points to all you wonderful, fabulous, beautiful people out there. We're going to hop back in. We're going to see if we get this test working. I'm not sure exactly how to do it. I imagine, like, the simplest thing, the thing that I want to do is have JSON convert .serialize object on event map like this. And I'm gonna have to write a special converter for this because it has a dictionary inside. Turns out dictionaries aren't really easily serializable. And I'm suspecting that we're also gonna have to write one for our JavaScript event actions as well, but we'll find out. So if I do this, it's not gonna work. But we can also load wall map from JSON. Let's add another one here. Public static dungeon event map. Load dungeon event map from JSON string JSON like this. Somewhere JSON convert .deserialize object. It's going to be a dungeon event map, JSON, and then we'll have to do some more stuff there. We can add in this throw exception here. Could not parse dungeon event map like that. All right, so this whole thing is a little bit gnarly. Looking like this. I'm not sure if this reads better or not. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I hit reload. I meant to hit format. Now we gotta wait for it to initialize. Yeah, I'm not sure. This might actually look a little bit better. It doesn't look terrible. Let's do a format here. Get rid of that space. Okay. In here, can I do a switch? Switch. I'm curious here. Let's add an else if. So other else if type of t is equal to type of dungeon event map, and load dungeon event map from JSON. JSON is t results, return results. Doesn't like that. It should be wall map results, and this would be dungeon event map results. Okay, so can we get the dungeon event map serialized in there? I suspect this will also not work. Let's see what it says. And so it serialized and deserialized something should be 3, but was 0. We can go and look at what it is. My suspicion is it's just an empty object. So if we go and we look, let's add in a breakpoint here. We'll look at what the serialized value is. Gotta reload this. I might be able to actually just right click debug test. I wonder if that works. Let's try that. That would be nice. I think it looks like it's doing a thing. Lance, I'm glad you enjoyed those stretches. All right. Yeah, so the JSON it produced is just an empty JSON object. And when we, here's what's interesting. When we, when we deserialize, I meant to go in there and look at the deserialization. Let's return up here. The deserialized version is just going to be calling the empty constructor and then doing nothing with it. So we need to add in a special wall map JSON converter. We need to do this for our dungeon event map JSON converter. We need to do this. This will be our dungeon event map JSON converter, and it's gonna have a converter that does it for dungeon event map. And the implementation of this, we're gonna swap out event map JSON converter. Oh, it's just saying that it doesn't implement these. We want to have this. Everywhere we had wall map, we need to now have our dungeon event map. And then how do we convert that to and from? Okay. Not implemented exception. Not implemented. So what we need to do is we need to go through all of the elements. So we have this existing value coming in. We can do something similar here where we say, well, this is the read. Let's do the write. The write is easier, I think. We're gonna say if the value is null, we throw this exception. Could not write a null dungeon event map. So it has to be a value. We're not gonna write null things. We could also just have it return null. That's one option. Really, we have this thing that produced a list. So we're gonna have our value dot events at, we need to know all of the positions. We need to get all the positions. So there's a piece missing from our event map, which says which positions. We have no idea of like what positions actually have things in them. And so we need an IEnumerable here. So public IEnumerable of, and it's going to be this sort of key value. We can also have it be a dictionary. I read only dictionary. I think I like this better. Of positions to IEnumerable. Maybe it is even a list here. I don't like that it's a full list. I read only list. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this because the read-only list doesn't give us back the collection information we need, and I hate that. I guess we can ask a count on it. right, we're gonna do an I read only list for now. Tile event. And this is gonna be called events. We can actually get all of the events back on it. And I don't think we can just do events like this. I don't think I can do a conversion to a read only. I think I need to actually construct this thing as a view of the underlying data. It would be nice if it changed too, and we didn't have to reconstruct it each time. So let's write a getter for it. We'll write a simple getter that constructs it in the following way. We're gonna do a new read. Do we have read-only dictionaries? We do have read-only dictionary. We need to provide it with the events here. All right, read-only dictionary of this type. If I were to make this a list here, I could actually pass this in. The problem is these, I don't want the person who gets the list externally. Maybe we do it and we just let them, if they want to modify it externally, they can. These should be wrappers because the read-only list represents a read-only collection that can be accessed by indices. I guess we know the count, we can access it and we can iterate over it. This is interesting. If I do it this way, things become a little bit easier. You do this. This internal list is mutable on the outside. But it would maintain, let's try a thing. All right, we're gonna add in a test. I need to understand, is this a view? All right, Dungeon map should public, make this fact. Public void provide view of events. Okay. And this, the view is essentially not mutable. If I modify the internals of it, it should still show me the externals without the modification. So we're going to create this. We're going to add an event at position 0, 0. Map.event is an I read only dictionary of position to list of tile events. The question I have, all right, so we should do this. We should be able to events at position dot count dot should be 1. Events position should contain damage events. But more importantly, this one's not a unit test. This one is actually like testing an interaction a little bit. But more importantly, when we do a map.add event at position, if we add in a teleport event, this should now have the teleport event inside of it. Notice events here should be a view. Let's test it. I should still have one failing because of the test down at the bottom, but this provide view of events. Provide view of events passes. So it is giving us a view. We can modify that list externally, which I don't like. I'm wondering if there's an easy way to do this. I don't think there is, because I have to construct a new one. So I think I'm going to leave it this way for now. I'm going to leave it that way for now. 75% to a hat. You're almost there, Sidron. You're almost there. I think there's some nice people here in this chat that might even give you a little bit of bonus points in chat. But yeah, you get about I think it's 120 points per hour just for hanging out in the chat. And you get 240 points if you're active in the chat. And then sometimes, you know, points and sometimes I just give you points for being awesome. Sometimes I just give you points for being awesome. Because you are. All right, so it does provide a view of the event. All right, I like that. Okay. So what now that I have this, I should be able to serialize, turn that into an associative array. Right? So if I come into my converter, 30 more minutes, you can do that easy peasy. Easy peasy. All I gotta do is lurk a little bit, and we appreciate the lurkers. Okay, so really we're gonna turn this into an array of position. Maybe I make a record for it that makes it a little bit easier to understand. Internal, no, this need to be public. Does it need to be public? It might, internal might work. Internal record. Not quite. All right, so we're gonna need to have an array here. An array of tuples. Let's try it. From our position to, and it's another array. Positions to arrays of tile events. Like this. So it's an array of position to tile events. Events. We need to construct this thing. And it's a little tricky to do, but I think we can write a little helper. We're gonna come from our value.events.keys.select, and this is going to produce a pair. We'll write a little helper for this. We're going to select our position, and it's going to go to a position, comma, and then we need to convert all our tile events inside as well. I suppose we could actually do this with a key value pair. Select key value pair goes to key value pair dot key, and then for now let's do an empty here. Is this going to do this? Select. What is the type of this? Var x equals. So I cannot do this. Okay, select is having trouble. Events, key value pair. Oh, it's probably the note to array. Key value pair here. We have a source, we have a function. Event is an I read only from a position to list. Key value pair position to event. What if I just make this? Oh, it's complaining that it doesn't know key value pair dot value. It doesn't know what this type should be, and this should be an array here. Okay. So if I make this a position, comma, object. Oh, it doesn't like that. Object, list of tile events. Ooh, I'm surprised that this IEnumerable of this dot to array. Okay, so it's happy with that. Can I make this a tile event type here by calling to array on this? There we go. This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay. And the overall, oh, can I do this? It doesn't like that. Oh, it does like that. I think that's okay. Okay, so here's my events as array. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like it. Why not? Thought I had it compiling there. Oh, it doesn't like the select. I think it's having trouble with the to array on this one. It can't infer that. There we go. Do I have enough parentheses? There we go. All right, this is our events. Events? Why doesn't it like, why do I get an error just by changing the name of this thing? .NET build, Shy Programmer, how are you? Folks, if you want to go check out a Shy Programmer, another streamer here, give Shy Programmer some love. Shy Programmer, what have you been working on? Hope you're not too shy about it. If you want to be shy about it, that's okay. You don't have to share with us. But I always, you know, I love to hear what you're working on. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Attention lurkers, go check out Shy Programmer. Why is this? This is a weird... There we go. VS Code was just off its rocker, off its kilter there. All right, so we convert that to this, and this should be serializable. This is, at the end of the day, this is really what this is, tile events. That said, the internals of this tile event may not be serializable. Yeah. So let's events, and then we write these here. Okay, so I think we have partially finished here. We can go look at, if we debug this again, oh no, there's one more thing I think I have to do. It's still going to give me an empty JSON object, I believe. The JSON, oh, fascinating. I didn't even have to tell it that, it just knew. Awesome, awesome. So there's something interesting here, though. Information gets lost. So this is actually converting this to this JSON, which is really, really hard to read. Everyone says, I'm doing great. I'm working on my blog website, adding authentication. Very nice. There's one last thing I need to check, and then it's done for now. It's all part of my Python course I'm following. Very cool. Trigger on trigger. The issue I'm having here is this script. It's not going to know how to convert this back. Notice there's no type information stored here. So converting this back into the proper JavaScript action is gonna be a trick. It's gonna be a trick because it needs to know, well, what the heck am I here? How do I go back? We've lost information about types here because we're using an abstract class for that event. And I believe if we continue here, we still get 0. Okay, so we need to go the other direction now. And this will show us where the problem is, or one of the potential problems. Okay. So we're writing it. Oh, it's interesting. I'm surprised I didn't have to. If I take this out, do I actually need that? Does this break my JSON serializer? It does. So I am going to need that. Dungeon map converter dot shared. Shepherd says, I also finally understand why sometimes my homepage doesn't want to show since I changed the database a lot and have to delete the data as well. Sometimes I still think I'm logged in because of the cache. Interesting. Sounds like a tricky little bug there. Tricky bug. Yeah, so we need to go the other way now. When we're reading this, we're going to take our data in. We need to make sure that the value that's coming in is a string, and we need to go the opposite direction. We need to, this is where things are going to be hard, because I think tile event's going to need a serializer as well. Ah, gotcha. At least, yeah. So not understanding once you figure out, yeah. So the debugging process, if you have no idea why, how are you supposed to, make any progress on it at all? So now that you have an inkling, you know where to look, you know what's going on a little bit more, you can actually do a thing with it. So we need to go this way now. JSON convert.deserialize object. And this is a position to a tile event array. Pair data. And then we'll throw an exception. We couldn't read it. Okay. And then we need a way, if we have these, we need to be able to construct these. So we need a constructor for our dungeon event map that can take in something of this type. All right, so we're going to add a constructor here to do that. So public dungeon event map I enumerable of position to an I enumerable of tile event event. And I miss a boom boom. What is this complaining about? Oh, it needs to have a this. Oh, that's interesting. I actually think I want, this is interesting. What is this complaint about? Requires one type. Oh, this should be a pair of these things. Okay. What's interesting is that this, should be events. This cannot be converted in this way because these is an array. Yeah, it's so interesting here. Let's try a select. Pair, and this is going to go to a pair.item1, pair.item2, get as enumerable of tile event. So it's okay to do it this way, but it doesn't know how to do it that way. It's like interesting. The typing system is not the best at that. So it's almost like this doesn't even matter that it's not enumerable here because the typing system struggles with it anyway. Almost makes it harder to put it in there like that. I'm gonna keep it this way for now. And can I set events equal to something here? I can. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to build up this dictionary here. So events is getting initialized here. And we need to build this dictionary up. So we're going to do events equals a new dictionary. What language are you using now, Shy Programmer asks? I am using C#. Yeah. Questions are absolutely encouraged here, Dragon Spirit. Hey there, Dragon Spirits. I'm having an awesome day. Absolutely wonderful day. I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. Cyan Streams, welcome back. Balint, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back to the streams, folks. If I don't know the incredible Science, be sure to give him some love. Balint, incredible science communicator, ant expert, and fabulous streamer. Science, how you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. Dragon Spirit Games, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to this captain. Boom, thank you for the hat redeem. I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Science. Doing absolutely wonderful. We're working on creating a scripting tool here. So we're gonna say for each position, IEnumerable tile event, events in events. This would be events at position. We are going to then do another for each. We don't need to do another for each. We can do the following. Do events of position is equal to events at position. Like that. There we go. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. And we might be able to simplify this using Link a little bit. Yeah, Pagorla, we need a pop. Shy Programmer, no worries. Have a beautiful day. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Keep up your coding journey. Keep us abreast of your progress, folks. If you guys don't know, there's a Discord you can join as well, where you can share what you're working on with the crew. All right, let's. Will it build? Will it build? I'm curious here what we're gonna run into. Error converting. Yeah, I thought this would be the case because it doesn't know how to take our events and return them from JSON. I know, Pagorla, we don't want to have a pop. We don't have a push. We don't have a pop yet. Now I get deja vu too. Will it blend? Will it build? It doesn't. The test fails. And so this is sort of what I was expecting to happen, is that when we go to deserialize this, it doesn't know how to deserialize tile events. So we need a special converter for our tile event. Tile events. We need to do one of these for tile events. Essentially is what it comes down to, because we have different types of tile events. Lance, did I miss the hat? Sorry if I missed another hat. We'll get another hat added here. I put one on. I might have missed a second one. Whoever, I'm sorry if I missed it. Thank you for the hat redeem. We'll just get a bonus hat in there just in case. If it's either a satisfying the hat or it's a bonus hat. Morphe Dev Talk, Morphe Dev Talk, yeah. Thank you for following me today. Morphe Dev Talk, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Captain Coders Academy. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. We need a way to deserialize tile events. That's sort of what's happening here. I'm pretty sure error converting value could not cast or convert from string to this thing. Ensure that there's a contract here. I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, it doesn't know how to. Hang on. Where's this? Could not cast or convert from. Hang on. On line 25. I didn't tell it to use our dungeon event map converter dot shared. I didn't tell it to do this. All right, we should get a better error, I think, if we do this. I still don't think it's gonna work, but we're gonna get a better error. There it goes. This is the error. Could not create an instance of type Captain Coder Dungeoneering Dungeon Map event action. Type is an interface or after class and cannot be instantiated. This is what I thought was going to happen. We need some bonus information so it can understand how to deserialize these. And preserve that type information. Yeah, so there's a tricky bit here because they are abstract. And maybe the hack here is to make it so hack is not quite the word. Maybe the easy thing to do would be to make it so that it's not abstract. We just have JavaScript event actions inside, and then put our scripting together in there. Then this becomes one package. That would be the easiest thing to do. I don't know if I'm quite ready to do that. Yeah, the abstract part of this is the problem or the challenge. We lose the information when we are attempting to serialize. And what I think I can do, is instead, ooh, this is interesting. Can I make a subclass of tile event that has a JSON that we know for sure? This might be it'd still be a tile event. It would just be a subclass of tile event that is a very specific version. And so we actually know how to serialize and deserialize that version. It's this event action. If I make this non-abstract, we can make progress more easily. So I'm thinking, whatever we put in here needs to be serializable. So we can't serialize things like functions. So one option would be, one thought was to make it so that rather than having this invoke, there you pass in information about the method to use, but we won't be able to serialize delegates. So I can't make it so that this takes a delegate, and it also breaks the equality check on records. I think what I do, we could just make it so that we always have there's always a script in these, but we don't know. It can still be subclassed. I wonder, well, then it will end up with just an event action, not the subclass of it. We need to choose the correct one. So I was thinking, yeah, so there's a little bit of a trick here. I think we just make it that our event actions are JavaScript. I'm not planning on adding multiples, and then that's a future, rather than over-engineering it right now. Which is something I struggle with, is let's over-engineer it, is maybe we don't over-engineer it. Maybe we start off, hang on, this should be on. I'm not gonna, I saw a little thing here. I'm not gonna edit this right now, actually. Let's make it so that our event actions are just this JavaScript event action. Simplify it. Where do we reference event action currently? JavaScript event action, tile event, and then in our shoulds. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're not at a point where we can't just get rid of this and switch to move our events map into
you in
our
the back.
scripting.
Pay attention.
Thank you, Dragon Spirit. Yeah, I'm noodling my way through it right now, right? So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to remove the abstractness from this. Move the abstractness from this. We're going to get rid of event action altogether. I'm going to take our tile event context. All right, we're about to do a gnarly refactor. This is why we have our test in place. All right, we're going to take this. We are going to move this tile event context. Yep. We're going to put this in our scripting. Tile event context .cs. Okay. We'll put it in the correct namespace here. Namespace captaincoder.dungeoneering.scripting, I believe. Let's go look at what we did here. Dungeon crawler. I feel like it should just be in scripting. Made this namespace. I poorly selected this name here. We're gonna have to refactor that. So we need these to be able to have those two types. Okay. Our event action. I'm gonna get rid of this. This is no longer an event action, it's just a JavaScript event action. And really I'm gonna change this to be just an event action. So I'm deleting this. I'm about to do a bunch of stuff. Maybe I should do a commit here before I do this stuff. Hang on, I need to go back. Primer, Justin, how we doing, friend? Welcome back to the stream. Let me undo the changes I've made here. Do I build? We're gonna do a commit, 'cause we're partway through. JD, I almost made a terrible mistake. I want to be able to go back in case I need to. Justin, what have you been working on? Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Happy day. Primer, Justin, we are writing a dungeon crawler engine, and we're making it so you can write JavaScript scripts. So you can add events that are scripted in JavaScript, and so you don't have to rebuild your whole project. You don't have to compile it every time. C# requires things to be compiled. So we are adding in scriptability into our project so you can load from JSON files, or at least that's the plan. That's the plan. We have the JSON stuff working. Yeah, so I have this idea for a class I want to teach where students write mods for a project. And this is sort of the start to it. I wanted to do it in Lua, but I had a lot of trouble getting Lua to work in the web browser. And so I gave up on that. I spent like 5 or 6 hours on it. And now I've switched to JavaScript, which it turns out was also really hard to get working in the web browser. The C# interop, I actually couldn't get it to work. So instead I am doing JSON. It's easier to go, it's really easy to take a C# object, convert it to JSON. And it's really easy to read JSON into JavaScript. And so we actually just JSONify back and forth. So it's a little bit of an annoying step, but it works for now and for my purposes for this project. Super cool stuff though. So I'm adding, all right, so there's a temporary commit we're gonna do here. But yeah, we're building this here. Oh man, Lua. Do. So this is the type of thing we're building here. So we can move around in here. This is for the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not laggy, this is just the style of game it is. So we have this. The scripts work. Now we're building, we're adding to our editor. So I have this editor here for creating the maps. The maps are stored as JSON files. So I have this tool for creating these maps so I could build out a map like this, save it, and produce it. In this editor, I want to be able to say in this tile, type S, open up the scripting menu, and I can add a script, add a specific tile, add events. So when a player enters this event, do a thing. When a player exits this tile, do a thing. And that script is going to be JavaScript. So yeah, JavaScript in a C# project, not ideal. But it's fun. It's a learning project more than anything for me. We're working on serializing our event map. So we have this event map that, given a position, has events that can occur, and the tile events have the scripts attached to them. I'm struggling to get these to serialize, and the serialization is an issue because my event action is abstract. Because in my mind, it's going like, oh, well, we can make it abstract, and then you could have JavaScript scripts, you could have Lua scripts, you could have Ruby scripts, whatever type of scripts you want, and then the subclass decides it. But we're running into an issue with the serialization, and I don't feel that I'm going to need more than the JavaScript for now. And so rather than over-engineering ahead of time with something that I'm not going to actually use in the jam, I'm going to simplify this, remove the abstractness, make all of my event actions JavaScript event actions for now. And then in the future, if it becomes necessary, we can move up a level, add in a new like abstract event action on top that encapsulates and supports all of the different types. But we're going to keep it simple for now. And before I make all those changes, I wanted to have a chore here, partial commit on work for partial commit, or really though, we added some stuff in here. Feet, I'm doing chore. Progress on dungeon event map serialization, but not complete. So we're just going to commit the changes we have so far and then continue working. But I'm about to do a big refactor on this code, and so I don't want to break. I want to be able to return to this point where everything is mostly working except for my serialization, because I'm going to be moving these files around. I'm deleting this. All right, so let's take our tile event context. We're moving this into our scripting project here. We're going to add this in here. We're going to update this namespace. Like so. Shy Programmer! Welcome back. How we doing, friends? How we doing? Our event action, this is getting rid of event actions. We just have JavaScript event actions here. This event action goes away. Our event map is scriptable event, so we're going to move this into our scripting project. So this whole folder I want to move down here. Okay, so our dungeon event map, and I'm hoping this doesn't break too much. This is going to become our JavaScript event action. We don't want you here, Mark. Not you, Mark. Mark, I love you. We don't want you here, event action. Get out. Mark, we need more of you. Mark, you got that multi-form technique where you can just like duplicate yourself? We need more Marks in here. Mark, how have you been? What have you been up to? How's your stream going? What have you been working on? Folks, gotta go check out Mark. Fun streamer. Great stuff going on over there. Give him some love. New to the streaming game. Give him some love. Go check out that work. What have you been working on, Mark? Primer Justin, too. We gotta give Primer Justin a shout out here in a moment. Another great developer. This is no longer an override. It's just an invoke. Okay. So a lot of things are going to be breaking right now. This is going to be an extension of our... Really, I don't even need this mock event anymore. This can just become our JSON... Sorry, our JavaScript event. Yeah. So we can do that. Mark is loving the new input system, am I right? Oh, the new Unity input system is fantastic. I'm struggling a little bit with, let's make sure we build. I've had a rest of day to catch up. The new input system in Unity is fantastic. I'm not using it on this project because I'm doing some weird stuff. Event controller. So this needs to be using our scriptable captaincoder.dungeoneering.dungeoncaller.scripting. Okay, to get that. I'm excited. After my Python course, I'll start on a Java course. It would be similar to C#, I heard. Yeah, Java and C# are very similar to both object-oriented programming languages. Unity Coder, great to have you here, my friend. It's the most simple thing. Things have a roundabout way. Yeah. New input system, Unity input system's pretty solid. Okay, how did we break our tests? We should only have one. That refactor was actually much easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, and now we're passing. Check that out. Look how simple that was. With that refactor, we actually pass our JSON tests. We can actually serialize and deserialize our dungeon event maps now, because we removed that abstract, and now it knows, hey, I know how to go to and from this type, no problem. So we can run all our tests. Can we run all our tests? Are they running? They are. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so that was a nice, simple fix. So we can serialize our map now. Run this test, make it pass. What do you like about the new input system? I have no knowledge or opinion about the input systems. Just curious. Great question, Primer Justin. So the old Unity control system looks like the following. Have you used Primer Justin? Do you do Unity development? Let me show you input. The old input, and I'm using the legacy version here. I'll show it to you in a second here. Let's pull it up here. Let me do this. Let me commit this real quick. I actually think we finished this. Feat dungeon event map should be JSONable. Okay, so mostly for videos, no input. Let me show you the current or the legacy version. The legacy version looks like this. You have to have these if statements that say if input. So you'll notice I'm using, it doesn't actually show that it's a legacy Unity system, but the DLL I'm using is actually the legacy one. So we have these if statements say if the input key is down, do a thing. If the input key is down, if the axis is held, do a thing. That is what it looks like here. All right, so this is the old version. It's pretty simple. There's some simplicity to it. I have put this wrapper around it, so I have configurable controls. I'm not manually doing it. Okay. The new input system, we'll wait for this to load. But let's go look at, I think I'm using it. I use it on Crazy Marble. Let's go find Crazy Marble real quick. I think I used it last year on last year's Dungeon Crawler as well. But we'll find Crazy Marble. Crazy Marble. In this project, I'm going to show you what the code looks like because I don't have it on this project, but I'll show you the editor. All right, so let's create a temporary folder. Temp. The new version, we use the new input actions. So the new system has this really nice UI for doing it. Input controls. And this lets you, it's a little bit more versatile. So in our action map, we might say this is a user movement. Okay. You'd specify, okay, what are the different actions that we want? So let's do a new action here. This is going to be, move. All right. So, and then this one, we're going to say that this one has a binding. We're going to add not binding. This binding here. Hang on. Let me delete this one. We're going to add a new input action. Movement. The binding is going to be a button. It's getting pressed. Going to set it to a value as well. So a value here, it could be a vector 2. It's going to be up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right here. And this one, the binding here, we can say, well, let's bind this to a gamepad on the left stick. All right, so now on the gamepad, the left stick is bound to a vector 2. This is going to pass through to our game. The other thing that's really cool about this is we can have this generate an asset for us that we can use. So click this to generate it. We'll go ahead and apply. And this actually generates a C# file we can use. I really like the new input system. It's easy to set up for a lot of different controls, combine them together, and then it's event-based. So now I have this input controller, and what I register on, it's great for controller support. I would register on it here. Let's see if controller, camera, marble controls. So rather than having to do like these ifs on the keys, I just have this thing called marble inputs. All right, let's go. Marble controls gets here. It's marble movement, marble jump controller. Okay. So now all I do is I say this generated file has this type of thing I do. So marble user input, marble controls hop. When someone starts the hop, this event will fire, and I just register this method on it. Just get a thing working so you can with your life and make guns, and then you just go in. Yeah, so once you have this method, say this is what I want that button to do, this is what I want that access to do. You write a method that says this is what jump does. Then you just say, okay, well, my input control system is going to manage what does that for me. I don't have to manage it myself. And so there's some real niceties about that. Juan, welcome back to the stream, Caveman Crafting. Great to have you here. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. We just finished. I don't know if that was Primer Justin. Was that helpful at all? Sometimes I get rambling. Yeah, it has a really, really nice UI to it. And it's event-based compared to this if statement thing. So you'll notice I've actually made mine event-based. So I wrote this player movement control because I like the way it works. I actually made mine have this on movement action that I can register on. And then this thing just figures out when those events are happening. So there's this player movement controller that I register on. So if I go into my Unity project here, let's delete this temp folder here. My player input controller, wait for Unity to rebuild because it needs to, has this on a movement action handle movement. So now I have this thing that says, well, these are the player movement controls. They're currently bound to some keys. My player can swap those out if they want to, but maybe we add them to a joystick or whatever. I would put that as part of my input, my player movement controller. It should really be called player movement input handler. And then I register my game. My game controller actually registers on it. So that is how I'm doing it here. It's going to be 70 and sunny. It sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Sounds like a perfect temperature. All right, so we just managed to finish this savable serialization. It's working, and I don't know why. Thank you. You're welcome, Mark. I'm ready for that heat, Braxton Wise. You're so wise. Look at that. Your picture is amazing. I love that. Your little avatar there. So people don't know, in the I use Firebot. So check this out. Look at this cute little frog. This is the icon you use. Frog, like steampunk frog thing. Braxton, I love that very much. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Dragon Spirit says, I really thought I would have a look at the Unity timeline today, but I somehow prefer procrastination. It happens. Love that, Brad. Did that with an AI. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so we have this saving now. The next step is going to be actually add in. What does the question mark on line 9 do? Good question. So this means that this variable, the question mark means that this variable is nullable. Nullable. So this is saying that this variable might be null. If I do this, it says, oh, by the way, you have to specify that this is, you're saying that you're promising this isn't null, so we'd have to set it to a value. But we're going to put a question mark here to say that it can be nullable. And then we can do this here. It says, oh, by the way, if it's null, don't do the thing on the right side of the dot. DP Medina. DP Medina. Welcome to the stream, my friend. We got DP Medina with us. DP Medina, thank you so much for the follow. I usually do that, then later do on movement action invoke. Exactly. So I am not programming in Unity C#. I'm doing C# 12. And C# 12, in C# 8, there wasn't this question mark here. In fact, it would yell at you if you put the question mark there. It's just an indicator. Yeah, it's just an indicator saying this thing could be null. So it makes you write null checks. So for example, down here, when I go to do invoke, it says, hey, just by the way, this thing might be null. So this might throw an exception because if it's null. So it helps remind you to put that there. In Unity C#, C# 8, nullables aren't on. So you don't see it. This is one of the reasons I'm doing some crazy, I'm being a little bit crazy with the way I'm doing this, just to explore what is the extent, how far can I push this stuff in Unity. Awesome, so we made some progress. We have our event map serializing. The next step is going to be to connect this up, and we're not going to do this on stream right now today because I'm out of time. I got to get to work. But the next step, now that we have this serializing, is to add into our interface here. We're going to get this merged in just a moment. We want to be able to add this into our interface here. So that way I can press a button. I think I'm going to make it S. Oh, maybe not S. Shift S, maybe. I don't know. We need a button here or maybe just enter and open up a menu to edit this tile. We want a way to be able to attach scripts here. And that's what we're going to do next. But I have to get to work, so I might work on that a little bit off stream. But it's super fun. We're having a great time here. Let's find someone to raid. I keep forgetting to have people go find someone to raid for me because I want to raid new people. We're going to raid Beegs, I think. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I like to raid new people, but I don't know. Sundown's about to release their game. Sundown raid a session. We're going to have Sundown a raid. All right, folks, when we get there, we're going to raid Sundown. Sundown. All right, incredible streamer, awesome human being, fabulous game. They're making this awesome 2D Metroidvania game. When we get there, we're gonna yell, show us your game. Twitch raid. There we go. That's our raid call. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be sure to copy, paste that, get that ready to go, because the game's coming out in 13 days. Show us your game, show us your game. Mendoza, thank you so much for hanging out. Sorry if you just got here. All right, folks, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. We will be back on Saturday. Be sure to check out all the fun things, Discord, blah, 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 blah. Join the Discord. Join the Twitch, all that fun stuff. Have a beautiful day. Take care. I got to get out of here. Bye-bye.